Hello, Gordon Daring here. That's the intro to my song called Christie Liked to Rock and Roll. It's the opening cut on my first album called From Deep Inside. Christie Liked to Rock and Roll tells the story of my first visit to the Telluride Blues and Brews Festival. That was in 2007. A lot of good acts that year. We met a lot of great people, both at the campground where we were camping, as well as folks that were on stage. Christy was a real person. She really did. We met her. She was putting up her pup tent while we were putting up our tent nearby on the day before the music started. So let's take a listen to the first verse.
We met her at the campground on the first day of the fest. She was putting up her pup tent well before the rest. Christy's friends from Norfolk all came to the show. Joe Cocker couldn't make it. Why, I just don't know.
So Christy was from North Fork, Colorado. Had a bunch of friends coming down. She worked at radio station KVNF. All of her friends were also disc jockeys there. And, they were looking forward to the music. Another resident of North Fork, Joe Cocker, was not going to make it along with them. So coming up, listen to the chorus.
Christy wasn't into cocaine, she wasn't into hash. Drew the line at friendship and always carried cash. Christy liked to rock and roll. Christy liked to rock and roll.
So, Christy was maybe a little bit of a conservative woman. There was plenty of beer floating around, obviously, and maybe a few other things to contribute to the Rocky Mountain High. She was pretty straight on all that stuff, but she was there for the music, and she liked to rock and roll, and that was the whole thought behind this song. So let's run through another couple of verses. Talks about some of the other folks that we met there.
We got a little friendly and we started hanging out. Took some walks together all round about. Grace Potter in the camp with her brother Bill. He made beer in Jackson while Dad Sparky biked the hill.
So, so Christy and I got a little friendly and walked around town, went on a shopping trip, I remember. We bought some beer and I think I bought some presents for my wife and others back home, etc. But yeah, Grace Potter, her family was camped right next to us. Her brother worked at a brewery in Jackson, Wyoming. So they were one of the brewers being featured that year at Telluride. And their dad, nicknamed Sparky, was into mountain biking. And Telluride's a great place for mountain biking. So that's what he did. He and I hung out quite a bit and chatted. They were from Vermont. So also being from New England, we had a few things to talk about.
Mike Ballard was an artist, painted mountain scenes and such. By day he made deliveries in a FedEx truck. Anna on the stage playing slide guitar. The next day she was with us watching Honey Boy from afar.
Yeah, so three folks are mentioned there. Mike Ballard, Anna Popovich, and Honey Boy Edwards. Mike, regular guy, met him hanging around the campground. Had a dobro, as I recall, that he contributed to some of the campfire songs. Literally by day, he was a FedEx truck driver, but liked the music as much as anybody, and also had a pretty creative artistic capability painting, mountain scenes, naturally being a Coloradan and so on. But very creative guy. Got friendly with him, met up with him later on, years later, I think, just for a visit. And then Anna Popovich, literally, I was headed to go take a shower one day, midday, and I heard this wild electric slide guitar music coming from the stage, and I just went, who the heck is that? And I looked and saw this attractive blonde woman, so I did not go take a shower. I went straight to the stage to check out her show. What a great guitarist. She's had a fair amount of success on the blues circuit. Turns out that a guy that runs a very small local music venue here in my hometown had given Anna the opportunity to play at his place when she was first trying to break into the United States, and she would return the favor by stopping in to play once or twice a year here in my hometown. So was able to see her a number of times here in town, and have caught her shows a number of places. I'm sure if you're listening to this video, you probably know who Anna is and already know about her music. But literally the day after she was on stage, my buddy Richard and I were in the music field, getting ready to listen to Honey Boy Edwards. If you don't know, Honey Boy Edwards, the story goes, was with Robert Johnson the night that Robert Johnson died. So we were getting ready to hear Honey Boy play his slide guitar on an acoustic, little 3/4 size guitar. And my buddy elbows me in the side and goes, "Hey, that's Anna." And sure enough, Anna and her bass player, who I think became her husband eventually, were standing right next to us. So we, started to chat with her. And that was sort of the start of, being a pretty good fan of Anna Popovich, through a common interest in the slide guitar. Christie Liked to Rock and Roll is pretty much a straight up rock song. Had some couple of nice overdriven guitar leads. Seemed an appropriate style of song given the name and the subject matter. But then in verse 3, the lyrics are spoken. And those lyrics talk about the overall experience of being in Telluride, listening to the music, being high up in the mountains with, the mountains around you, the sky above, and so on. And I got to be honest, every time that I go to Telluride, whether it's for the music or just to stop in and see the place, it's always a little bit of a spiritual experience for me. If you'd like to check out the song Christie Liked to Rock and Roll and the other songs from my album From Deep Inside, there's links in the description to this video, both to my website as well as to a number of the popular streaming services where all of my music can be listened to. So with that, talk to you again soon on another topic or another song, but I'm going to close this out with the last chorus and the outro to Christie.
Christie wasn't into cocaine, she wasn't into hash. Drew the line at friendship and always carried cash.